saying happy birthday to
So happy birthday to Reverend Michael Holland. And also to our own darling Raphael here.
The eagle unstoppable.
The eagle man, very tall, very dynamic, very loving, caring,
tone down his own,
always looking out for us. No, don't worry. I'm just trying to check it. Himself on Sunday. Today is not Sunday's birthday. On his own birthday too, so I would do him. A big shout out to Femi Adepoju as well, and also to a darling colleague. These are all colleagues, okay? Anyway, also to Wale Adekomi, also a media practitioner with Lagos Television. So happy birthday to all of you. Wish you the very best of this new age, and we pray to those having anniversaries and all celebrations out there. We pray you continue to have reason to celebrate as the Lord liveth, and you will never have any reason to weep and say, "I die no." That will not be your portion. And to every one of us, this month is going to be a unique one for us. A sweatless, peaceful, unstoppable month shall it be. And we'll enjoy the benefits of what it comes with by the grace of the Almighty God. No sickness will be our portion. That's my prayer for each and every one of us. So on that note, our guest is handsomely seated, like Joy will say. And he's not here alone. A big shout out to Mrs. I think it's Chi. Let me say Chi. Chi, I'll put Chi. Let me say Mrs. Chi Remi Lawal. That's the best way I can, I remember it's Chi. I don't want to call the Chi in another way. So a big shout out to Mrs. Chi Remi Lawal for joining us.
When I saw her, I was screaming. This one you follow him down.
We have a special guest at the VIP person in the house. So let's go for a mini feature, and we'll be right back because our guest is seated, and it's time for us to roll the cameras on him. Okay, welcome back. It's to Family and Values, and this morning we have our one and only handsomely seated, looking, energetic parenting coach. Firebrand, I beg, no joke. Today may be April Fool to some, like I said, not to everybody. And we are doing serious business this morning. We are here for serious business. So all the fathers in the house, thank God for PH. I mean public holiday. I'm not saying Port Harcourt. So when I say PH, it's not April Fool. I mean public holiday. So it's serious business, like I said. And this morning we're looking at what is my role as a father or as a husband. What are those roles that determines your energy? It's not just the energy I carry. If I can carry my body. No. It's not just about the authority as well. It's not just about how learned you are. It's all about, it's all about everything. You're just speaking some things. No. Women, we get power. We also get power. I'll tell you what our children gave us on Sundays. One of the beautiful rhymes they gave us on Sunday, and I want to share later. So this morning we have our own Oluremi Lawal. He's a man of the word. But me, I don't know this word. I don't say. And I'm so familiar with him using that Oluremi Lawal, because that's the only way you can get a parenting coach, seated seriously, and he will deliver. So it's not about whether he's a Christian, he's a Muslim. This one will give it to you the way it is. So this morning, as we discuss this topic, we have our own Oluremi Lawal. Please give him a round of applause. Everybody, give him, because this man comes all the way from Ibadan. Anytime you see him here seated, it takes his time. You know what it means to spend your money, to take your, that doesn't mean he doesn't have other things he's doing, but for the love of family, for the love of children, for the love of parenting, he will always make himself available. Either on Zoom, and any time he's here for his family, he will be here live. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for being here on the
and
show.
Looking so cool.
So
don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed.
Looking so cool.
Somebody should not be ashamed.
Some of us 9 times our chef and start our conscience and start biting.
Okay, he's a writer and is a coach, like I said, and is so good and dynamic when it comes to delivering, when it has to do with children. He will tell you they are not stubborn. It's you that you need to watch yourself. So fathers, come closer. Camera, please tell them to come closer. We need to talk this morning. And so I want to ask, who is the husband? Who is the father? What are the key responsibilities to this particular set of people in a home?
All right. Good morning once again. Good morning to
Beautiful
our
morning.
viewers. A father. All right. Let me use Bible. Like I would always say, I read books, but that stands for me as the best book I've ever read, and the only book I'll read for the rest of my life, regardless of any other book I read. And I'm going to use a very popular scripture that everybody, whether you're a Christian, Muslim, pagan, will know, Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me to lie down
In green pastures.
He leads me beside the
Still waters.
quiet waters. He restores
My soul.
my soul. All that I've read right now should summarize everything a father is. Everything a husband is summarized in the little thing I just read right now. The Lord is my shepherd. Culture has trained us all to believe that the essence of a man or a father is in provision, and that's true, but not totally true. A man is actually meant to provide, but what exactly is he providing? And because society has made us to believe that it is in providing material and financial, so that is where that provision is narrowed to. The moment I'm not able to meet up with the financial and material obligation, I lose my essence as a man and I walk back. And then I forget that there are other things that I am meant to provide as well, since my essence is tied to provision. So there are other things I should be providing. But because of societal influence, once I don't meet financial and material provisions, I lose my essence of living, and every other thing begins to suffer. Now, it's right for you as a man to provide materially, provide financially, but there are other provisions that are equally important as much as finance and material. And what are these things? Which is exactly what I said, have all been provided in that short verse of scripture I read. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Now, Bible was very meticulous in using its word by saying, I shall not want. Meaning, once I take up my role as a father, everybody around me are meant to understand that they live for needs, not for wants. So you make them understand that your essence of living is not your want. And let me say this, it could be controversial and is not a subject for today. Most of the pains we have today are tied to our wants, not our needs. The moment you begin to want above what you have, it becomes a want. It's no longer a need. Your needs are provided for anyhow. Have you ever wondered that people who don't work, even though the Bible placed an embargo on not to eat, people who don't work still find a way to eat? That's part of our need. So the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, because my needs will be met. So as a father, your first line of responsibility is to ensure that everybody around you understand what their needs are. I didn't say you're providing them.
What their needs are.
You help them to articulate and have a proper understanding of what their needs are. And what takes me to the second one. As a father or a husband, your role is to be visionary. You see ahead of others. Let them see whatever it is they are seeing, but you are seeing. And this is where I'm going to break the table that men have stood on for several generations, where we think that what makes me a man is that ability to back out others. Don't you know I'm a man and so what? Even a male dog is a man. You get what I'm saying? So it is not that ability to back out instructions and all of that that makes you the man. No, we have women also in places of authority who are backing out others. It still doesn't make you that man. See, there are three types. We have passive. We have passive, we have aggressive and assertive. Of these three, I think being assertive is the best. See, being assertive, you don't need to shout. Communication includes my body language. See, when you're doing something, which is that thing we're saying that children of those days understand eye
Eye
contact.
contact.
That's,
Yes.
that's assertiveness. Our parents don't need to say
They don't
much.
need to say
They
what.
just need to look at you and then
And you
turn.
behave.
You get the message.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? So the moment they say to you, come and eat, and you get up, and your mom turns back. You know that once I eat this food, I've just signed my debt.
You've just
signed yourself
said
to
I
some
want
big
to know that.
So as a man, you must learn this. That look, it is not in shouting on my wife that makes me the man. It is not in nature of women to shout. I think that's one wrong thing we all have gotten, that women love to shout. Women don't love to shout. Women just love to bear out their minds. So it becomes a shouting thing when you now join her in shouting. Because inside your mind it's been ingrained that women shout.
You know?
And then you now want to respond with shouting. So there will not be a shouting match. So women don't shout. And now hear this. A woman don't just naturally shout. We came in here. Did we meet you all shouting?
No.
I came in with a woman. Did she shout? So we all forget the triggers and then say women shout. So have you considered the triggers that is making her shout? Because naturally, in fact, I'm sure you've never seen a mad woman shouting. That's the one that has lost her senses. So you see them on the street, they don't shout. Until there's a trigger, a woman does not shout. So you don't need to shout to, exercise your authority as a man, not even to your children. That's another truth that we all must take home. So your role as a father, before I use this, is to be visionary. So you know where everybody should be going. And even if they are not going there, it will hurt your sensibility. But shouting will not correct it. Because the truth is that I'm married to you. You're not within my circle of influence. That's one of the things a lot of men should understand. That I am your father. You're not within my circle of influence. And what do I mean by circle of influence? Something I can play my true authority over. This thing is within my circle of influence. I can move it. I can decide that my center table will no longer be here. I want it by the side. Do you understand? It's my choice. It's within my circle of influence. My shoes are, my clothes are, but no human being is within your circle of influence. None at all. Except there are rules guiding your engagement. So you need to understand that as a man, that what keeps you as a man and keeps you in place of authority is that visionary. So when you tell them the first time and they don't take it, you just calm down. And that's exactly what God does. God will tell you, do not go this way. And you go. When you come back, he's never going to say, why did you go there? No, God will not say that.
Wow.
Maybe you have actually, you realized that this was not right and you're back. And the Bible says there's nobody that will come to him, that he will in no wise
cast out.
So he will still welcome you back and then show you. Are you done now? This is the way. So as a father or as a man, your second responsibility is to be visionary. Know exactly where they are going. Let me put this. I'm glad my wife is here. See, when my son started, he first mentioned what he wanted to be and all of that. It excited everybody. Nobody would, and no parent will hear what my son said he wanted to be, that you will not be very excited. But God knows I knew he wasn't going to do that. And I never fought it for once, because that's what is not within me to say, no, you must do this, no, you must do that. I won't. I just kept quiet. I knew he won't do that. The reason is I've checked a lot of things that I need to check in human beings to know, are these things aligning with these desires? And I know they are not in alignment. So I know when the right time comes, he will take the right decision. And that is already happening. So if I had forced it on him then, all I would have done is, because of the human nature that loves to stamp its own authority, he would insist on doing that thing. He may regret it in the future, but he has succeeded in putting it to me that you can't tell me what to do.
Joy, over
now,
to you.
How has fatherhood evolved over the years in terms of providing? I really don't want to dwell on the financial aspect because you just said something, but how has fatherhood generally evolved over the years, from generation to generation, and to this current generation that we are here?
To be honest, it has so much involved that most of the crises we have in our society today can be traced to the same question you asked. Don't forget, I said something in my opening speech that once I miss that opportunity to provide financially and materially, I relapse. So I just take my mind completely off everything. So the moment you make any statement, what comes to my mind is there's no money. This person is going to ask for money. There's no money. So I will now have a mental block. Even when I'm supposed to provide counsel, I'm supposed to provide emotional support. I have shut myself completely out of that, which is the reason why you see most women are married but alone. Not because the man wants it. Not because, see, I said this today. I was in that space. I wasn't like this before. So when I come and I talk, everybody will be like, this man, I know most women now will be telling their husbands,
that's the kind of man you should be like.
You should just, you grow, it's a stage.
You need to ask my wife, don't let your husband be like me. So I wasn't like this. I was also in this shoe. Do you understand that? You will not shut out every other thing. So you will not provide guidance. You will not provide emotional support. You will not provide counsel. So you're not heard. You want to be heard. They want to hear you, but you're not heard. Instead, all they are seeing is offshoots of your feeling of disappointment. They don't understand it either. It is only you who can explain that. What I'm going through is the fact that by the time we are done doing this conversation, there will be need for us to drop cash, and I don't have it. By the time we are done with this conversation, and because I have been told, it's somewhere seated in my subconscious that as a man, you should be the one
dishing the cash.
Yeah. ATM machine.
Just be the ATM of the house. And when you're not able to be the ATM. So back to the question. Every crisis we have today stems from this. No, you see, most men, the moment they are not able to provide, their daughters will now be calling other men, doing a lot of things. So when they're supposed to shout at the girl to say, stop that rubbish you're doing. And I shout at her, and after all, I'm not the one feeding her. Can I ask him to stop? After all, I'm not the one providing for him. So we allow people to get away with all manner of rubbish simply because we've lost our true essence of manhood. When in actual fact, it is not the truth. It is not the whole truth. I don't need money to be a man.
Okay, we need to go for our word on marble. I don't need money to be a man.
But I must have money.
Okay, you just finished it. I don't need money to be a man, but I must have money. Let's go for our word on marble. We'll be right back. Take cognizance of the word from this word on marble. It's very important. I don't need money to be a man, but I must have money. Sure, any is that the truth? Okay. Okay, let me use it. Is it the truth? Is it I've forgotten this rule? You don't know it. Don't worry. I'll teach you some other time. But me too, I've forgotten. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it be goodwill and better friendship? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? And what the Bible said, a good husband makes a good wife. So someone said she disagreed. We'll discuss about that some other time, but keep a note. Keep that note. Okay, we're still here with Remy Lawal, and we're discussing what are my roles, what are your roles as a husband and as a father. But I want us to draw basically on the father angle. And I want to ask, what has communication got to do with being a father or a husband? What has communication got to do with it?
Well, communication is essential. Like I would always tell people, they often tell us that communication is what strengthens marriage, but they don't tell us what to discuss. So it's one thing to communicate, it's another thing to know what to communicate. So, and in communication, you must consider all the aspects of communication. Body language is important. Eye contact. Communication, words is just 15%. Of your total communication. So that we speak, we talk to each other is just 15%. The entire 85% is about body language. So how often do you make eye contact? How often do you, use your body to talk? Like here I am now that I'm seated. My wife and I should be so close that if I do my leg like this, she should understand what I am saying. Okay, I need water. You understand? So communication is important to be a father. And then in communicating, if you come in, you must understand the body language of everybody in your house as a father. So the moment you come in, please stop looking at your tiredness. You see, I tell people that tiredness is a myth. And I'll just use one simple analogy here to explain it. If you pay too much attention to your tiredness as a man and you come in, you lose your role as a priest. Now let's look at it. You came back tired. Everybody is begging you. The entire world is at your knee, begging you to take your bath and eat your dinner. And you're just telling them, I'm tired. I just want to sleep. Now you manage to do those two things. And here you are, you hit the bed. Bam! Less than 10 seconds or let's say 30 seconds after you hit the bed, you hear a loud bang on your door, armed robbers. What will happen to your tiredness?
Go vanish.
Now you know that tiredness is a thing of the mind. Now let me shock you. 2 days after that incident, you will not sleep because you will be traumatized. And it was the same man who came back a few minutes ago, shouting down the entire house, I want to sleep, I want to this. So please, understanding that there are things I must do. Communication includes going in. If my son is sleeping and is not happy, I will tell you. If a child sleeps sad and you come in, you must know. You should know. If your wife is eating, she's not happy, she knows. Once I notice her face, I'm like, okay, I'll just walk out. Then allow it. After a while, I'll talk. So as a man, communication is beyond just coming to talk. What are people doing there? No, please try and understand the mood in house. Read the mood around everybody. Read their body languages. What exactly has gone wrong? You'll be able to tell which sibling is having issues with sibling.
Yeah.
So some people are having sibling rivalry in their houses. Fathers don't know.
They don't know.
Fathers are not aware. So these are some key things that communication has to do with. It's not about talking. It's about understanding everything.
Okay, so now, I love the fact that you're a relationship coach and you've done so much in leadership. What is the role of leadership when it comes to fatherhood in the family and society at large?
Well, I think that's the essence of it. It's about leading people. And I mentioned it here that visionary. What makes the leader a leader? You can be a pastor, but the fact that you don't have that adequate grace, but this man has it, to bring people together and manage them. So if you put some other person and put only 5 people with him, just go for 5 hours and come back. Those 5 people will be remaining 1 because he doesn't have that grace to put people together. He can't take so many rubbish. But this other thing can swallow a lot. Imagine, between you and I, how many of us could have stood Judas for as long as Jesus did, for 3.5 years? I mean, it's the first day he took 10 naira from that purse that would have been gone, long gone. But Jesus endured until he finished. How many of us would have withstood Peter? So, a father or being a father, it's all about leadership. And when I say leadership, you understand where this will end. You see this thing you're doing. Like, there's a Yoruba adage that says, what an elder sees sitting down. If a child climbs Mountain Everest, he will just see. That's leadership. That's leadership. And that's what a man should have. And that was why I said, I summarized it in that Psalm 23 I read. You must be visionary. So when they are doing, and then the moment you notice it, if it's not injurious or life-threatening, allow them run through it. Once you have told them, okay, don't do that thing that way, why don't you do it this way or that way? And if the person insists, please relax. Because the human nature resists authority naturally. We hate to be tossed about. But yet you must find a way to do it, which was why I admonish that we become assertive, like our parents would do. So they will just sit down, look at you, and some of them, they will just make one comment. You will do that. And they say, bring water for me. Where do I put it? Put it on my head.
Yes, put it on my head. I
think I do that a lot.
No, they do that.
Drop it on my head.
Okay, so I want to find out, how does a husband contribute to the healthy relationship, that holds the family? And what role does a father play as a role model in the home?
Okay, as a role model, See, this is the one thing that is completely missing today, particularly in our own society. I can't talk much about the societies that I've not been to or understand what they are
Our own
doing.
is better.
But this our own right now.
Mm.
That's the one thing that is also missing. You know, we have a lot of do as I say people.
Don't do as I
Very
do.
few do as I do. You know, people who would. And you forget that children, first and foremost, don't mimic outsiders. They mimic the people they are used to. And when I say used to, if I have lived in this environment for too long, if you want to move me from here, you will do a lot of job. No matter how beautiful the place you're taking me to. So you must have started planting it in my head. So see where we're taking you. It has glass floor. It has golden floor. So when I'm beginning to replace what is existing, you know, for what exists. Now, if you must do this, you must be a person of influence. I won't rule out the fact that as a man, you must have preference. We are human beings. We have preferences. Of all the things on this table, there is one that captures my attention the most, but I am bound to live with all of them. And I must not let the one that, you know, attracts my preference to understand. And those that are not attracting my preference must not know that they are not attracting my preference. So I'm a voice of balance. So you come in, you provide, you know, succor for everybody. You balance everything as the man. And then you're influencing them. The power of influence is way better than the power of force. Force means you must live here. It's a bad or done. But influence is I am going, and they know the journey is not easy, and they are saying we will go with you. David just made a desire known. How I wish I could get water from this particular well. And people didn't tell him. They went, you know, laid their lives on the line to get the water. So when you become a person of influence, you don't need to say too much. So just make sure that you assume the place. Influence. So you'll be able to balance everything. Your love for your wife will be intact. Your love for your children and guidance for all of them will still be solid.
But what common mistakes do fathers and husbands do in course of relationship with family? And what is the significant role of respect in all of this? Because we're saying something, you don't have to be authoritative, to, you know, to gain respect. But let's dwell on those mistakes that fathers and husbands do that damage relationship, even father to children. You see that it's now that kids can really relate with their father to an extent. Back then when we grew up, so just a few of us that had fatherly connection. Like once you hear your father coming, everybody is running. It's now this generation, I think, is trying to build that fatherly business. But what are the common mistakes that we still do till now that damage, that fathers do, husbands, that damage relationship, and the role of respect in all of this?
Unfortunately, if there's any question that I may not be able to answer as open as I would have wanted to, it is this one, because we can never agree when it comes to this issue. Like I said, be a person of influence. Okay, my son is about 42 years or 43 years my junior. But when you come into the house, you hear us talk, you think two mates are talking. You think we are good mates. We relate. So he comes to me, we talk, you know, we play, he demands that we both play. Does that make me less his father? No. Now, when you talk about respect, respect is not for adults. Respect is for humans. The day we come to understand that we are first humans before we became father, mother, wife, husband, you understand? Then we begin to understand that the first thing I need to do is to respect human beings. So I have appropriate respect for my son. There's a way I will never talk to him. There are things I will never say to my wife. She is first a human being before she became my wife. So respect, like I said, is for human beings. So learn to respect human beings first. And which is why I hate these people who arrogate too much honor to people because you know who they are. I don't arrogate any honor to you that I will not arrogate to anybody that is your mate. So if I prostrate to beat a 49-year-old man, that's me assuming that a 49-year-old man is older than me, right? That is poor. I will prostrate the same way, the same level for the one that is rich. Do you get me? I don't change the aura in the room because a rich man came in. Sorry, you're a human being. And we all owe God 6 feet.
Yes, sir.
Feet. I love that. We
Do you
all owe God
understand?
6
We all
feet.
owe God
6
feet.
feet.
Not
Wow.
more than that. So I hate that thing. It happened where I was on Sunday. I saw it. One young man came, packed somewhere, dropped, and that's a place where they will never allow anybody to stop to drop anybody. It's not a drop zone. You need to park somewhere to drop somebody. And then I became curious. I went to meet the people who ushered the person. I said, who is this person? He said, it's so person. I said, was that the reason why? Okay, would you do the same to me? Felt like we hardly worship.
We have lost.
So when it comes to respect, first and foremost, understand that your children, your wife, and everybody around you, they are humans. And this brings me to this. For no reason in this world must you reduce your family members to the point where they will be disrespected by your extended family members. I don't care who you are.
Okay.
We have a culture in my family that when there's an event, right, the wives gather to do things together. Guess what? I bought mine off a long time ago. My wife cannot gather with you to do what? Cook. And then somebody will come and be referring to my wife as Yawowa. No, she's not Yawowa, she's my wife. So I should introduce her to you as my wife. People will fight this culture that is tradition. Okay, does it in any way change the tradition? Does it in any way stop the event from happening? That my wife is not there to come and
cook
or wash
Make your wife your wife.
No, she is my wife. And I am her first line of protection. Which is another thing I'm speaking to men today. If you cannot stand up to protect your family, then you're not worth the man. So stop this issue of money, which is why you see I've not emphasized money. I only added one line that it is essential. Do you understand? It is essential, but it is not the front line. One day, our car had issue. I needed to take my son to school on a bike. And as we got down, just for me to bring out my wallet and pay, another guy was just riding his bike and was coming near my son. To show you, I've never fought on my life. But that day, something roared in my life and I said, if that bike touches this boy, I'll kill you here. One man turned and looked at me and he did like this. I mean, if I don't protect him, who else should I? That's where he was standing because the first time he was to put him away from, and then you're coming there again. I'll kill you.
Come, let's have it. I love that.
To your family.
My wife was pregnant. We went to First Bank. What is it? Wemco? I can't Acme or Wemco.
One of the banks.
One of the branches. Sorry. One of the bank branches. I withdraw that. Okay. And somebody was just. And I looked at the man like this. I just told my wife, go into the car. Said, how would this? I said, if you dare.
Oh my God.
You will see the other side. You don't need to.
You don't get the matter of the universe.
My wife didn't understand
if
it.
You
but
dare.
The truth of the matter is, you insult my child and insult my wife, and I tell you it's not my death date. Then when do I want to die?
Okay. When do
if I want to die the day you insulted my wife and my son, then when exactly do I want to die?
Remy, you have said so much this morning, and we're so delighted. Please go and download the Galaxy mobile app. It goes a long way for you to have us and to also be part of the program. And you always have something to go home with. So daddies at home, husbands, call them hobbies. I'll be there. All the husbands and all the husbands and all the daddies, all the fathers. I think the fatherly role has a lot, and Remy has delivered diligently this morning. So I want to take our final advice, a 60-second final advice from you.
All right.
To all fathers out there.
Was made earlier when they said a good husband makes a good wife. All right. I also want to disagree. Please do not relinquish or outsource your goodness to anyone. A good person is a good person, whether you're married to a good man or a bad man. Just be good. That's the key thing. Now, there's this book I read. I can't remember the title right now, but the author was saying that he went into a program that he was holding for men and his wife was holding for women. He finished earlier and quickly went in for his wife's phone. And then it was when somebody asked him, "Does your husband make you happy?" And then he was adjusting, waiting for the woman to tell them, yes, my husband. And the man said, no, it doesn't make me happy. He said he was shocked. He felt like flying away from there. The woman said, I was happy before I married him. So I decided to remain happy. Men, you're not the source of your wife's happiness. Your wife can actually be happy. It's a thing of joy and honor if she chooses to make you a source of her happiness. Believe me, whatever you're doing for her, she can always do for herself. So let's respect that.
Okay, whatever you're doing for her, she can always do for herself. You heard it from Oluremi Lawal. He's a writer, a parenting coach, and a man of the word. Thank God for his wisdom, and thank God for him being here this morning with a lovely wife, Madam Chi. Okay, Joy, over to you.
You know why I'm happy? Anytime we have Remy, whether Zoom or live, there is always this thing that reconnects inside of you and gives you the joy that, okay, we still have people, you know, that can speak the mind. So if I'm going to share this to all men that I know, they should listen because it's very important. Happiness is key, just like we said. And be respectful. Respect humans. Very important. Thank you very much for being a part of the show. I'm Princess Joy Ayo Abu, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, so continue to enjoy your public holiday, like we said. And tomorrow is going to be another wonderful time. I will be discussing moral decadence and child development in our society. You see some children, you see them with gun in their school bag. How did they come about it? We've heard stories, we've seen viral videos gone here and there, and we want to discuss how come. Was it the parents' fault, the children's fault, peer pressure? What way is it? We'll be having someone in the house to discuss this with us tomorrow. On behalf of everyone, our team who has made today's show a great success, and our lovely guests, thank you for being here once again. We appreciate it and we pray journey mercies back to your destination. So we hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you to our supervising officer, Mr. Teslima Chai. Hope to see you tomorrow. My name is Remain Olori. Have a splendid day and enjoy your day. Stay safe. Bye for now.